afternoon. This is Chris Brecher with a Simpler Stocks free video for July 12th, 2016. As you can see, it's about 9 minutes before the bell. Today was all about an extension from Friday. It started today led by the Nikkei with some positive just political news, and the Nikkei just going crazy in here. Let me change my pointer around, but you had the Nikkei up about over 700 points today, and that's just got everything going in here. So basically you got the ES, as you see on here, opened up since really Wednesday. And as you see on here, let me change this. As you see in here, it's just gone up ever since. On a 78-minute chart, it's been above the ATR trailing stop the whole time. So to go in here and sum up what's going on with the overall market, right now you have the ES is up 1050. You have the bonds up down 105. About time the bonds went down a little. You had the Russell up 1350, NASDAQ up 33. NASDAQ was up about 50, I think, at one time. You had the bonds down 105, like I said, crude down. Like I had mentioned, the Simpler Stocks Premium on the chat, in the also the email alerts, and also in the videos about that. I thought if crude oil broke down a couple of days ago, it could go all the way to 42. We're not that far away. Yeah, the advanced decline moderately bullish, about 1100 positive. Transport's only up about 34. There were a couple of downgrades in the transportation stocks, offset by some really good action in the airlines. And, you know, makes sense, airlines up when crude oil is rolled over. Don't think that doesn't matter in there. Nikkei, like I mentioned, up 775. You also have some of the grains selling off today. Put them up here, and you have them down moderately. Corn down 6, wheat down 550. You had soybeans down $1. So what does all this mean in the scheme of things? One is, be honest, very difficult for me to trade when the market goes straight up. I like all kinds of whippy stuff, so you get overbought in a downtrend, oversold in an uptrend, and so on. The biggest thing I can do in here is, number one, teach you. Number two, alert you to some opportunities. And number three, keep you out of trouble. When I showed this on Wednesday, I kept a lot of the subscribers out of trouble by saying, if you want to buy something, go for it, but don't short. Too early to short. In fact, on Friday when we were here, I said, too late to buy, too early to short. Sure, I missed the last 20 points in the ES, is no doubt about it, but way too early to short, and I know that saved a lot of people. Now, just to let you know, when it comes to the subscriber base, we have I'm always trying to do extra things. On here, we have the Simpler Stocks, where I do email alerts, and you get stock trades and chart ideas, index and futures charts, some unusual option activity. Believe it or not, almost every single one of these has worked. I only send out about 3 a week, and almost every one has worked. Last one being led by HZMP that went nuts after I mentioned it. Stock trades and chart ideas. The reason I'm bringing this up when I said I want to show an overall view is I added this weekend where I did some long-term ideas. The thing is, we have a lot of subscribers that can't trade all day. So what I decided was to start putting them on FinViz of just a group of stocks I'm watching. And these are just smaller stocks. Like you see in here, most of them are under $20. Why am I showing these? And I'll go back to Simpler Stocks, and I'll go back to the charts. Because why are we going up in the first place? We're going up because of low interest rates mean there's nowhere to put your money. You've heard that a million places. I know that. I don't want to bore you anymore. The whole idea in here is, why is the SPX outperforming? Because relative to the Russell and transports, the SPX has more dividend yield stocks. Now, the thing also in here is we are in a low yield, low growth environment. That means growth stocks like that make up the RUT are going to go down. You also have a lower growth is harder for the transports. That's why the ESs have outperformed. On the other hand, if we continue to get this kind of outperformance of the ESs, that even though earnings are expected to be the 5th straight quarter of earnings decelerate, going down, actually being negative, but we're at an all-time high, obviously it's not detached from reality as much as you think. It's that low interest rates are causing asset bubbles. We're not there to question that. We're there to profit from it. But if I'm right that this is some kind of asset bubble, it's not like this is going to crash. What happens is the other indexes play catch up. That's why I found the stocks that are under $20, because if I'm right, the Russell and the transports, and I'll put the transports on the right so you get an idea what I'm talking about in here. You can see on here that obviously they've underperformed. SPX, pretty easy now, is at an all-time high. Go and put a weekly or daily of both of these charts and look at the transports on the right and look at the Russell on the left. On the other hand, what are you noticing developing? Maybe some breakout action here, and maybe some of these, we talk them on the premium side, a Stewie pattern, where it's an inverse head and shoulders. When I highlight it like this, and then you circle it, it looks like Stewie from Family Guy. I'm sorry about that if you hate Family Guy, but it just coincidentally looks like that. But the whole idea is if we enter the speculative stage, we're going to want to latch on to stocks that already have good chart patterns. Notice this, that these absolutely could break out. No doubt about it in here. So whether I think it's unwarranted or not, whether I think we're overbought or not, you have to put into perspective what could happen. So I try to find you short ideas, I try to find you long ideas, and that's what I'm going to continue doing. A lot of times in this type of market, I want to short the overall indexes like some kind of low-risk way to short the SPX and then buy some Russell stocks. So just to have a hedge just in case. It's just the way I sometimes do things. But to tell you the big perspective in here, I wouldn't be surprised to see the ES is stalling here. And this is the reason I think they're going to stall. Forget that they're stalling as we're talking. What I mean is usually, and let me reset this to chart default so you know what I'm talking about. Usually on a daily chart, when you see the indexes get this far from that blue line, now you might wonder what I'm talking about. You can go into studies and edit studies. Take off all the indicators, all of them, except the 9 EMA. This is called a reversion to the mean trade. When the ESs get too far from their 9, they usually wait or consolidate so it can catch up to the 9. Now, obviously, these two were reversals. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like here. You rallied and you had to consolidate to catch up. And all I know is look how far we are over the 9 EMA. Every time I see that, you usually have either a period of consolidation or an outright sell or something to catch up with this line right here. I think that's the next thing you're going to see is some backing and filling. Now, why is this not beyond the realm of probability? Because number one, we're sitting right at an all-time high. Number two, when you go into here and the MACD is almost in the black area, you know you're overbought. Now, I know everybody says overbought can stay overbought. I've heard all that. Sure, absolutely positive that can happen. But the point is when it gets that high and it's this far from the 9 EMA, you usually get a period of consolidation. And that's what I'm looking for in here. Like you know, we have the $7 30-day trial. Just so you know, it includes the things I was showing you in here. And if you go back to simpler stocks, you get the chat room 9 to 10 a.m. in the morning. Premium videos, which are more in-depth than this, and the email alerts. Like I said, there have been some really good ones. You got the forum that's like a message board type of service. Meetups, which about every 10 days we have a learning, sort of like a 1 hour before the close where we do live trading. We also have where question and answer, and I usually have a theme. And each of those meetups then goes into a video. A lot of other sites charge like $99 each video. Look at this, understanding correlations, trading with the MACD, reviewing the basics, and so on. If you think it's one or two, you got it wrong. Check out how many come with your service. Really neat stuff in there. So that's what's included to your service. I think you should try the $7 30-day. Thousands of people haven't taken us up on it. We have one of the highest conversion rates in the industry. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Everybody have a great night. I will talk to you tomorrow.